So like I said, here's my close friend, Kailee Sisson. We've known each other since college. Kailee has a really similar background to mine, and that she was overweight when she was younger, and she kind of discovered her own way in movement and health and fitness and exercise kind of throughout college and even after that. So we're just going to sit here, and you can get a little perspective on where Kaylee's coming from in her own personal weight loss and transformation story. So Kailee, when were you overweight when you were younger? How long were you overweight for?
I was pretty much overweight from my childhood, probably around first grade through, middle school. And then I started, getting into sports, but no, I didn't.
But it was tough for a long time being overweight. And you said you were about 50 pounds overweight too, right?
I was about 50 pounds overweight.
And did you have to deal with like bullying or anything like that? With like, were girls pretty mean to you or guys mean to you or anything?
Oh,
like
definitely.
That,
yeah, that was not fun. That was not fun. And that's part of the reason why that I was so motivated to get into fitness.
So what was the point? Like, was there a low point? Was there like a reckoning point in which you were like, hey, I really need to make a change. I need to do something different about my life.
In around 2013, when I was in college, about, after I had known you for a few years, I really started to notice, like, this is an important time to really embrace my health. Like, if I don't now, this could follow me for years to come. So, I signed up for a marathon, and that was like my first running gig, and after that, I started eating healthier and exercising every day, and that was a big life-changing decision.
Now, did you love running right off the bat? Did you fall in love with it, or did you have to grow into it? And what made you start running as opposed to doing any other kind of activity?
So the perception is that a lot of cardio for multiple hours was going to give me the body that I wanted, and so that's why I was like, oh, this is perfect. I did not enjoy running at all. In fact, the first time that I went out for a race, like to train, I could only run 0.7 miles. So it was a struggle to get up to 26, but like I said, I thought that would help me get super lean, and that was the solution to obesity.
And you did. I mean, like, watching you change throughout the time that we were at college, because I've kind of gotten to see Kailee go from a casual runner to a die-hard training marathon and half marathon runner. And what did you like the most? Like, how did you notice your body changing, or what did you notice about yourself that was changing when you started running?
So initially, since I didn't have any athletic background, the weight fell off of me, and I got super thin right away. But, as time went on, my body started adapting to the amount of cardio I was doing and the lack of calories that I was eating.
Sure.
And so I started plateauing, and then I started getting that skinny fat physique with, love handles and those problem areas that girls fear. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big problem about, a year to 2 years later.
Sure. And that's one thing that me and Kailee both can really relate to, is that I really fell in love with running when I was about 16 or 17 years old, and I kind of used that as an excuse to eat really poorly, and I would kind of run so that I could eat bad calories, and we've both been in that position before. But I noticed that my composition really wasn't improving, or I would be a little more sensitive to any time that I ate pizza or brownies and ice cream or something. It's almost like I could see it collecting around my midsection, just because I was running and I would burn hundreds of calories while I was running and thousands of calories running every week. But my body had no muscle tissue or lean tissue to be able to start funneling calories to. So now Kailee is on a really different and interesting track. She's almost kind of flipped 180 here. Kailee, when was you just ran your last race really recently. That was the end of last year, right?
Yes, that was about 3 months ago that I ran my last marathon. And
gotcha.
With that, my hips started sliding out of place, so I got assessed for that, and I found out that I was basically running off all of my lean mass and my muscle tissue, so my body wasn't handling it well.
Sure. So that was kind of, would you say that was the shock factor for you, hearing that from your doctors and your specialists, of like, hey, I need to vary up my training program so that I can get different results or better results from what I'm doing?
Yeah, it kind of made me realize, if I love running and I want to take fitness seriously and I want to be able to help people in the future, I have to take care of myself. And, being a one-trick pony and only being able to do distance racing wasn't going to benefit me. If anything, it was going to hinder my ability to perform in the future, which was scary.
Sure. And why don't you tell everybody here, so they know, what's been your experience, because you've only been seriously lifting weights and doing resistance training as like the crux of your program for about 4 or 5 weeks now, right? And before that, it was just all running, and you did some lifting as like supplementary, and we had gone to lift together. But what are some of the changes that you've noticed about your weight and your body composition since you've switched from running? Basically, you're running 8+ hours a week, right?
Yeah, I mean, peak I was running 80 miles a week. So,
Sure.
you know, I was going to the gym for 2 to 4 or 5 hours a day sometimes, depending on my
What's your training
schedule.
schedule?
So it was like a full-time job. So, but now I'm only going to the gym about an hour to 80 minutes a day. Very little cardio. I'm only doing about 60 minutes total a week of high intensity interval training, and my body has completely transformed. Like I said, I had a lot of those problem areas. I was not happy or comfortable with my body at all.
Sure.
And now that I'm lifting heavier, I'm eating more, and I'm actually getting thinner. So I'm taking time off of my training schedule, and I'm also consuming more food, but healthy, lean foods.
Sure.
And it's helping me really, you know, change my whole like shape.
Sure. And the amazing thing that you guys all need to know that you just heard from Kailee is that both of the people that you're talking to right now were not the genetically endowed friends that you have who can eat cheeseburgers and pizza and brownies and ice cream and cake and whatever. Yeah, I know. We both wish we could be there, but we all have those people in our life that can eat, you know, snack pastries and muffins for breakfast and a huge heaping bowl of sugary cereal before bed and have 6-pack abs. These two people are not those people. Me and Kailee both used to be overweight, and you shouldn't have to be overweight when you're a kid. That's a time when you were active and you're running around outdoors with your friends and your metabolism's burning on high. So the fact that we've both been through that, and then we know the other side and how much work it takes to get here. But the one interesting thing about Kailee's story that we're going to bring into this program for you all is that she noticed a huge metabolic change when she shifted from primarily running to primarily resistance training, circuit training, weightlifting, kettlebell training. And now Kailee's cut her training time to, I mean, fractions of what it used to be weekly.
Yeah.
Sure, and you're seeing better results. And how much, just so everybody can kind of get a picture of this too, how many more calories do you think you're eating every day? Because I know that you track really well. Because you were eating, did you say you were eating between like 1,000 and 1,200?
I was netting around 1,200 calories a day, which was not enough. And now
it's a super low calorie count for somebody who's training for marathons.
Yeah, and now I actually doubled that, sometimes even more, you know, 60-70% higher than what I was eating before, and I'm, you know, my body is responding well, and you're eating for performance, and you're eating to build lean mass, and then lean mass burns fat. So that's kind of what I learned throughout this process, and
Sure.
And yeah, muscle is beneficial.
And you've actually dropped from what you just told me. Kailee has been eating a ton of food. I've never seen this girl eat so much in my life. And you actually dropped 2 pounds this week eating more food.
Yes.
And training the same amount of time that she's
Yes.
been going. So just to give you an idea, her waist has shrunk. She's lost body fat. She's developed lean mass, but I mean, you can see Kailee flex it out for a second. She's not, she's not getting huge bulky muscles like you might be afraid of. Because I've trained, I would say about 80% of my client base has been women, and a lot of them are afraid to lift heavier, lift weights in general, or even do body weight workouts at home because they're afraid of getting these big, bulky, unattractive muscles. But this is evidence sitting right here. Like, Kailee, you don't feel like you're getting bulky and getting traps up to your ears or anything like that, do you?
No, and I don't know if I would like that, and I understand everyone's fear of,
Sure.
you know, not wanting to, you know, get that masculine physique that you see bodybuilders having. But I think that what we have talked about is that you have to eat a lot of food and dedicate yourself to look like that. So
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions in all of this, and I've covered this in blog posts and talking to other people, and Kailee is physical evidence of this too. You have to eat a massive surplus of calories to get bulky muscles. It doesn't matter if you're lifting heavy weight for a fewer number of reps or lighter weight for higher reps. You have to eat a ton to fuel that size and muscle mass. Well, before we get any further into this course, we just want to say thank you again for being here. Now you have a background on my good friend Kailee Sisson and her story in health and fitness, and she is going to walk you through this course and enlighten you on how you can eat and how you can train like her and how you can get these incredible results. And we're also, with her permission, if she doesn't mind, going to attach her incredible progress photos to this course so that you can see the physical representation of how actually training less, training smart, eating more, and eating smart can have a positive impact on your body. So Kailee, thank you so much for jumping into this course and teaching it with me, and we'll see you guys in the next lecture.